So, as chair of the Pier Arts Centre, it is my enormous honour and pleasure to welcome you all here this evening on this momentous occasion when we celebrate the milestone. And I'm conscious that there are probably a number of people here who have been involved since the beginning, and many who've been involved for longer than I have. It's wonderful to have you with us. Some of you have travelled a very long way to be here, and I wanted to express particular gratitude for that, in particular to William, Bernal and Vanessa, who are here somewhere. So William is Margaret Gardner's grandson, and they have travelled from London to be here with us, which is fantastic. Thank you for making the effort. We are all here, friends of the Pier Arts Centre, gathered, and those eagle-eyed amongst you may notice that some of us are wearing colour-coded badges, which signify different roles that people have had in this journey. There are former chairs, former board members, current board members, staff, other volunteers, peer group members, members of the Pier Closer network. So there's lots of people who've been involved in lots of capacities in the Pier's story. A particular mention to the staff who are here dotted about. Some of them are probably inside and not able to hear. I think it's worth just saying that they are a small and very dedicated team. They punch above their weight in terms of numbers, and they work extremely hard for this place and for what it represents. And I want to express gratitude certainly on behalf of the board for all their hard work.
On behalf of the staff.
The artist Patrick Heron, and I'm going to read this bit out, described Margaret Gardner's gift as one of the most distinguished and perfect of the smallest selections of 20th century art on permanent display anywhere in the world. And I'm just going to pause and let you take that in, because we may be standing on the edge of the United Kingdom, but for those of us who spend quite a lot of time and regularly wander in and out of this building, it's extremely easy to become complacent about what this place is, what it represents, the collection at its heart, and its importance to Orkney, to Scotland, and to the UK, and more widely. And today, really, for me, is an opportunity for us all to think about that, remember the past, reflect on the past and the present, and project into the future and where the Pier is going to evolve in the next 40 years or so. Since the 14th of July 1979, the collection and the Pier and its activities have expanded possibly beyond Margaret's original imaginings, and that's thanks to the generous support of a number of organisations and individuals, many of whom are represented here this evening. The Pier continues through their support through its programmes and activities to connect Orkney to artistic life elsewhere, and I mean that in the broadest sense worldwide, creating enduring links between artists and audiences in line with Margaret's bold vision, and it really was a bold vision back in the 1970s. We're grateful for the ongoing support of all those organisations and individuals who continue to make that possible. And again, I'm very pleased to say that many of them are represented. Creative Scotland, and I'm looking at Stephen here, continue to be our largest funder, and he's here waving their flag this evening. Orkney Islands Council, there are some representatives of the council here, and you, the friends, all contribute to this and enable the Pier to continue fulfilling its mission of providing opportunities for people to enjoy, explore and create art, and also as a place to gather, to connect and to exchange ideas. I regret that I didn't have the privilege of knowing Margaret Gardner, but she was, as many of you will know, a lifelong campaigner for peace, for liberty and for culture. And in particular, she recognised the role that refugees could play and what they could bring to culture in this country. Like Margaret Gardner and the artists that she supported, we face uncertain times and global challenges. And I hope many of you firmly believe that art can continue to bring people together, to further mutual understanding and to offer us different and new and refreshing ways of seeing the world. It seems very fitting that this artwork, hold it the right way up, was chosen as the invitation for this. And I see Arthur frowning at me. It's a work by Arthur Watson. And it maybe captures in a typically humorous but also thoughtful way some of what drew Margaret to these shores in the first place and prompted her to make this very far-sighted, inspirational and generous gift to the people of Orkney. I might also say that limited edition prints of that artwork are on sale this evening. You are all part of the Pier's story. Thank you for the part you have played, continue to play and will play in the future. Thank you for being here to celebrate, and I look forward to the next 40 years. I would now like to call on Bill Spence, who I am imagining will be known to many of you. Bill was a chair long before my time. He has continued to fly the flag of the Pier as a patron, and in the many other roles that he performs in this community and beyond. And Bill is going to share with us some reflections.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. Ladies and gentlemen, when Neil asked me to say a few words this evening, I got the distinct impression that the emphasis was on few. Perhaps he suspected that verbosity might be hereditary, because he probably knows that my father's third cousin still holds the world record, the Guinness Book of World Records, for the longest Oscar speech ever. 5.5 minutes. That was Greer Garson in 1942 for Mrs. Miniver. So, oh dear, this has gone off.
Timed out.
So I'll try to confine myself to just...
How's the speech going?
He's
up there.
Were you competing? That took a bit of rehearsing, I can tell you. What did I say to you last? So I'll try to confine myself to say just in 40 key words, each one for the years we're celebrating this evening. 40 years ago, there were 3 Margarets in my life. Margaret, my mother, Margaret, my first wife, and Margaret Gardner, who, as many of you know, was an impatient, single-minded, generous, kind, resolute, stylish woman, and a bon vivant, occasionally recalcitrant, but always good fun. She was a visionary. To her, Orkney owes a huge debt of gratitude. And I just wish she could be here with us tonight. Perhaps she is. In 40 years, we've come a long way, sometimes along a bumpy road, but I believe the best is still ahead. As Abraham Lincoln said, the great thing about the future is that it comes only one day at a time. I wish everyone connected with the Pier here today, tomorrow, and into the future continuation of that same quietly ambitious attitude and imaginative vision which has served us so well for 4 decades. I'm going to propose a toast to Margaret, so grab your glass. Can I ask you to please raise your glasses in a toast to the memory of Margaret Gardner, our founder. Margaret Gardner, our founder.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Bill. Thank you, Bill. I don't think Neil requires any introduction, really. I believe he has been employed by the Pier since 1993.
87. I couldn't get another job.
So I'm going to leave it at that and allow Neil to share his thoughts with you.
I didn't take my own advice. Thank you, Tamsin, and thank you, Bill. There are no belly laughs in this. Introducing the Pier Arts Centre in the gallery's first publication, Margaret Gardner wrote, "The Pier Arts Centre is held in trust for Orkney, and Orcadians will mould and develop it as they wish. For them it is a new and, we hope, exciting venture, since the islands have hitherto had no regular provision for visual arts. Many organisations and individuals have helped in many different ways to bring it into being. We have faith, at times a little tremulous, that its needs will be met and that it will have a long and lively future." At the opening of the Pier Arts Centre on July the 14th, 1979, Margaret Gardner invited Lord Balfour of Burleigh, who had arrived by boat, chairman of the Scottish Arts Council, to cut the painter in order to launch the Pier Arts Centre. Some days after, Lord Balfour wrote to Margaret, "We owe you thanks on at least 3 separate counts. Firstly, that you were the means of our having one of the best holidays we could remember in that marvellous place, and with such good weather. Secondly, that we had the good fortune to meet your family. And thirdly, that we were able to be present at such an exciting ceremony as we had that Saturday, which I'm sure will be the start of something that will mean more and more to Orcadians as years go past. Your act in giving to Orkney these works of art and in putting all the work which has resulted in the building of the gallery and the formation of the organisation must be one of the biggest single personal acts on behalf of the arts for Scotland that we have had experience of through the Scottish Arts Council. I know that all members of the Council would want to express to you our appreciation of this quite unique gift. For me, it is one of the happiest occasions I can remember that has fallen to me to help with the Arts Council. It had all come about because of the warmth of welcome that Margaret found in Orkney. The willing conspirators, Bryce Wilson, Sylvia Wishart, Bill, Erland, and many more. So that we all, friends, here today, have a responsibility to care and cherish for the gift we've been given. And another equal responsibility to ensure that we all, at home here in these islands, within these shores, continue to offer a warm welcome. I'd like to bring you forward 19 years from 1979 to 1998, and the last meeting of the board that Margaret attended. A consultant, a very nice man by the name of Peter Davis, was in attendance to present options of how the Pier Arts Centre might develop. Having had a long debate about how we best care for the collection, how we provide equal access, and how we addressed growing visitor demands. The options included an expansion of the facilities to the scale you see today. Small is beautiful had always been one of Margaret Gardner's mottos, so the scene was set. At the age of 94, in 1998, Margaret's hearing had declined, and after some experimentation at earlier meetings, she'd experimented with an array of hearing aids and settled on a black Bakelite ear trumpet.
Oh, wow.
That she wheeled around to various speakers. And it was always accompanied, when it was directed at me, with, "Neil, speak up, you're mumbling again." And of course, that was the effect I was going for. The meeting passed, decisions were made. Eager to ensure that Margaret was on side with plans of change, Peter sought out Margaret, sat next to her, only to be reassured and totally disarmed by her first question. were you born a consultant? Fast forward 21 years to the present, and the small is beautiful mantra still haunts. What can you do when you have such a fine example of philanthropy? Other collectors, benefactors, have looked at the beautiful unfolding of Margaret Gardner's gift in this marvellous place and have spoken to us in that same spirit, so that we know the future has more to unfold. Equally, our great potential as a source of learning and creativity is constrained within the gallery spaces and is yet to fully unfold. Many will know we have purchased the former post office opposite. We hope it may provide opportunity. Elsewhere, we have inherited a building, Links House in Bursey, and a responsibility for an ambition that it should once again operate as a rural centre for arts residencies. All these elements combine and complement one another. The Pier Arts Centre, its collections and exhibitions, provide a world-class encounter with art. It is, in essence, a reflective experience. The post office offers a chance to engage, to make a splash, a participatory experience, while Links House may offer a landing strip, a launch pad for artists, musicians, and all others from near and far to experiment and exchange. And how might we achieve this? That's still unwritten. We have already made a start on Links House and are deeply engaged in discussions focused on the future islands team. Time will tell. All these opportunities and challenges, though, arise from the same welcoming spirit that Margaret Gardner found in Orkney. And of course, they have Margaret Gardner's achievement here in the Pier Arts Centre as a touchstone and benchmark. They are the latest unfoldings of her gift. So, with glasses charged, and having had a toast to Margaret, perhaps you'll join me in a toast to the Pier Arts Centre, because, after all, we have faith, at times a little tremulous, that its needs will be met and it will have a long and lively future. The Pier Arts Centre.
The Pier Arts Centre.
Thank you.